Hey, it's your girl Kim Brooks, your favorite national best-selling author, here for yet another edition of Kicking It with Kim Brooks review special as we are reviewing the reality dating show Ready to Love. Okay, so for this episode, on this video, we're going to talk about the great debate between Tondy and Reva as far as whether or not they are truly friends or just associates. And it's so interesting how so much emotional energy has been put into the term associate versus friend. I mean, it's almost like Tondy got offended when Reva kept insisting on calling Tondy an associate. So let's dive into it and let's talk about it, and let's discover whether or not Tondy and Reva truly are friends or associates. And then by the end of the video, I want to share with you what I believe they really are. Yep, I want to reveal that as well. So stay tuned. Let's dive in. Okay, so I went to dictionary.com and I looked up the two words. So we're going to kind of go through the definitions and come to our own conclusions as far as whether or not they are friends or associates, and like I said, what they really are if they're not. Okay. The word friend. Okay, so there are three definitions to the word friend. The first definition is a person attached to another by feelings or affection or personal regard. So that's the first definition. The second one is a person who gives assistance, patron, supporter. Okay, that's the second definition. And then the third one is a member of the same nation, party, etc. Okay, now looking at these definitions, I can see where two of them at least could apply to Tondy and Reva as friends. Okay, so let me show you. The second one is a person who gives assistance, patron, supporter. Now, remember when Tondy was trying to, I guess they were going back and forth as far as whether they're friends or not. And Tondy was like, but you asked me to go out of the country with you with your daughter so our daughters can be together for some program. I don't know if it was an organization that Reva, that was her organization or another one. But Tondy was like, you asked me to go out of the country. Do you do that with strangers? So, and then Reva tried to downplay it it was just for the organization and you weren't the only person I asked and yada, yada, yada. Well, according to this, it says a person who gives assistance or patron or a supporter. Reva was asking Tondy in that instance for support. She was asking Tondy and her daughter to join her out of the country for this program or organization or whatever it was for patronage or as a form of support. So that's number two definition of friend. All right, so the third definition of friend, it says a member of the same nation or party or etc. So when I think of that, I think of a group, a similar group. And then you can also look at it like a similar circle, and of course this is me adding to it. But to me, it sounds the same. A member of the same nation or party, etc. So one of the etcetras could be, I believe, circle or group. If you have a similar group, you got a group of people, you have similar circles, then you are a part of the same circle, which equals friend. All right. So 2 for friend. And then number 1 definition is a person attached to another by feelings or affection or personal regard. Okay, now this is where Reva may have been talking about. Because when Reva was like, we are not friends, we don't talk on the phone, I don't even have your number in my phone, we don't even chat, we don't even so in other words, Reva is not attached to Tondy through any feelings or affection or personal regard. There's no emotional connection. Reva has no emotional connection, or at least now she doesn't, toward Tondy. And so in that case, they are not friends. because they don't fit that particular definition. But we can conclude some other things. But just out of the three, I personally believe that 2 out of the 3 were for friends, and then 1 out of 3 is not for friends. Okay. Now, the next word is associate. And according to dictionary.com, associate is a person, they have 2 definitions. A person who shares actively in anything as a business, enterprise, or undertaking, partner, colleague, or fellow worker. My handwriting is crazy, y'all. Over here struggling. A person who shares actively in anything as a business or undertaking, partner, enterprise, colleague, or fellow worker. Now, in that instance, to me, according to this, associate sounds like a coworker. Or it sounds like a person that you may be working on a project with. I mean, you have a goal and you're coming together to work on a project or an undertaking. So that's associate, where you have, no connection other than you guys coming together to fulfill a goal. So that's the first definition of associate. And then the second definition of associate is a companion or comrade. And I looked up the word comrade, and that means a person who shares in one's activities, occupation, companion, associate, or friend. So the word friend is inside the definition of the word comrade, which is inside the second definition of the word associate. So they are connected, so there shouldn't be that much hostility towards whether someone is a friend or a colleague, or a friend or an associate. But the second definition of associate, it says a companion or comrade. Comrade is a person who shares in one's activities. So they did activities together. They shared an activity together. Now, they didn't have the same occupation. They weren't necessarily companions. And then it says or friend. Okay, so from those 2 definitions, like I said, the word friend, as you know, with dictionary.com and any definition, if it's more than one definition, if one of the 3 definitions apply, then you could use that word in that definition. It applies. So, friend, I believe because she got 2 out of 3 of the definition of friend, and for associate, the word friend was included in the second definition of the word associate through the word comrade, one can conclude they are friends, or were. Now, something else about friends, and I shared this kind of intimated through the other video I did. There are levels of friendship. Not everyone is your best friend. Not everyone is your close friend or good friend. You may have a casual friend. And a casual friend, I believe, from these definitions may describe their relationship, because you can't tell me that before the show, Reva and Tondy did not have some type of camaraderie where they were, more than just high and by. Reva wants us to think that they was just high and by and just being, polite for the sake of being polite, but not really having any emotion or feelings attached to it. Now, that may have been on her end, but it sounds like it wasn't on Tondy's end. To me, the impression I get of Tondy, I perceive her as a very loving person, a very kind person, that's very warm and open to whoever she meets, and that she has good heart intentions towards others. And unfortunately, everyone is not like that. And as y'all know from the show, she was like, soon as a man got involved, then things changed. We no longer friends. Now we associates. So she kind of was, you could just tell she kind of was like, side-eyeing that or whatever. So, I personally believe that they were friends and that they were more on the basic casual friendship level. But I also promised to you that I would share to you what they actually are right now. And what they actually are right now is they are enemies. They're enemies right now. That's not right. You want everybody to love everybody. But right now, got that man involved. They enemies. So, the definition of the word enemy means a person who feels hatred for or fosters harm against another. That's one definition. I don't think they're at that level yet, but you never know what's in people's heart. But I personally don't believe they're at that level. And then another definition is engaging in antagonistic activities against another, or as an adversary or opponent. So in this instance, and then another definitions that I've heard personally of the word enemy is basically someone who wants what you have. And in that regard, I mean, this is not the first time they were fighting over a man, or a man got involved, and then they got, because you could tell that Reva was kind of upset when Tondy brought up that whole situation on the interview portion when, Tondy was talking about the other gentleman on Facebook. So because of the opposition that they have toward one another, and they are now adversaries. I don't think they could ever go back to even a place of basic casual friendships. I mean, I don't even see them hanging out with that mutual friend anymore, unless they just straight up ignore each other, because I believe that currently, and as a result of all of this, and as a result of how they were acting, they're enemies. And Tondy, if I were you, like you said, when she finally was like, okay, we have never been friends, and you finally were like, okay, if you want us to just be associates, whatever. At that point, Tondy, to me, I just feel like she may not be the type of person you would want to associate with anyway. I mean, for somebody to just be that backhanded, it is a TV show, but at the end of the show, there was a commitment made, and they committed to each other, Mario and Tondy, to be in a relationship. And for another woman, knowing all of that, to still be in the picture, waiting in the wings, that's tacky. So, Tondy, you don't deserve neither one of them. Mario and Reva can have each other. Birds of a feather. So allow them to have each other. You continue with your positive self. Don't let anybody break you down. Continue to shine, continue to just spread light and love through the world, and keep it moving. So that's my opinion. And of course, it is reality TV, so this may have all been scripted, but either way, it's fun to talk about and dissect. So I want to hear your opinion. Do you believe that Reva and Tondy are friends or associates? Do you believe they're enemies now? What are your thoughts? Let's kick it. All right. Thanks for watching. And like I always say, be and stay encouraged.